It's a story as old as time, something new coming along and replacing the old.
Yeah, cell phones killed a landline, email eliminates the need for a letter, and grunge music killed the hair bands of the 80s. Still sad about that. It's the same thing happening to books. Maybe. Last week, Amazon announced it sold more ebooks than hardcover books.
It begs the question, are ebooks killing the book industry? KXLY4's Melissa Luck has the answer in tonight's Good Question.
Okay, before we get too far into this, I have to admit, I am a book lover and I have long decried the ebook. So when I heard this news about more people buying ebooks than real books, I had to know more. So I went to my favorite local bookstore and my favorite local author to get the real story.
Lots of loitering. We encourage loitering here at Auntie's.
Auntie's Bookstore is one of those places where you can find a comfy chair and lose an afternoon in a good book. A book defined by this book as a set of sheets bound into a volume. But you can toss out that definition. The book has gone digital.
You've known it was coming, and the technology is catching up to that pretty quickly.
Spokane author Jess Walter makes his living writing books. 6, in fact, that have received praise worldwide. Now, his labors of love are being sold in cyberspace. I thought for sure he'd share my disdain for the e-reader.
The delivery system is less important than the ideas themselves. And I know people who bought e-readers and they read twice as much as they ever used to. So I don't think it's necessarily an awful thing.
Okay, not awful, but kind of disturbing, right? Especially when you make your living off the sale of those books.
I worry less about where the money's going to come from than the state of the art. You know, what kinds of books are people reading? And that's, you know, if I have any concern, it's just that I want them to always be reading better books.
And they're definitely reading. In just the last month, Amazon reports ebook sales outpacing the sale of hardcover books by 80%. Are we turning the page of literature for good?
I think hidden in that story is the fact that they've sold more than hardcovers. But hardcover sales are a fraction of book sales anyway. They still haven't caught paperbacks, for instance. And the United States is one of the few countries that still clings to this idea that a hardcover book comes out first and then the paperback.
Still, independent bookstores like Auntie's are concerned about the shift. So concerned, they started selling ebooks on auntiesbooks.com.
It's probably going to pan out to approximately, the wisdom is 10 to 15% market penetration for ebooks. We couldn't afford to give up another 10 to 15% of our business, so we joined.
Does that mean we're all going to be reading books on a screen from now on? Well, not exactly. The Association of American Publishers reports the sale of physical books are up too, 11.6% over last year. Audiobook sales are also up 72%. When you do the math, it's simple. More people are reading. So maybe book lovers like me need to lighten up a little and know that no matter what technology comes along, there will always be room on the shelf for the book.
I'm still a book guy. I love the feel of one. There are as much items that you can hold as they are things to read for me.
A certain element, and we think it's a majority of book readers, that will always want to hold a book in their hand. Try cuddling up with an iPad at night in bed. You know, it's just not the same effect.
With this good question, I'm Melissa Luck, KXLY4 HD News.
I like that. That was a good one. Do you have a burning question you'd like to see answered here on KXLY4? Just send it to goodquestion@kxly.com.